They always say you need to get the anti-reflective coating, but why? Why is it so important? Stick around. That's what I'm going to talk about. Hello and welcome. I'm Eyeglass Tyler. We get a lot of questions at SportRx every day, but we get some more than others. And so we're trying to tackle those in a little more short format, hopefully completely, and that you have all of your questions answered. I'm going to talk about today, why is AR important? Why is this coating something they always recommend? And it goes by a lot of different names, by the way. Anti-reflective coating, AR, non-glare, anti-glare, a lot of different names, but it's all the same thing. It is a coating that is beneficial depending on your needs. And so I think the best way to tackle this question is to talk about pros and cons of the coating itself, and then I'll talk about eyeglasses versus sunglasses because there is a difference there. You're wondering, why am I not talking about what it does? Well, I actually did cover what anti-reflective coating does, what it is, in another video. You can check that out for a little more details on this. A quick rundown. It's a coating usually applied to the front and back side of the lens that cuts down on glare and reflections bouncing off the surface of the lens. So it says anti-reflective. It is not cutting glare bouncing off of other objects. It's cutting glare bouncing off of the lens itself. Why would it do that? Well, it is because less loss of light from glare and reflections off of the lens means that you're getting more of that light that you need to see actually making it to your eyes. So there are some optical implications that make them better optically. There are cosmetic implications that make them look nicer. Lots there. There is a lot to do with this coating that justifies how much opticians push it every single time you were looking for glasses. But let's talk about why it's important. Hey, if you're liking this content, but maybe you have additional questions about lens features, or perhaps you have prescription needs, well, be sure to reach out to our very friendly, very expert SportRx opticians because they're eagerly awaiting your call. And for even more opticians tips or frame reviews, how about unboxings and prescription content? Check out our videos and blogs. We'll put a link in the description below. That was a really long intro. Well, let's talk about pros. So pros would be kind of what I mentioned a little bit earlier, the optics, the optical clarity. I think that this is huge. I will tell you, I have had glasses in the past where I would forego the anti-reflective coating just because I didn't want to spend the extra money. And I will tell you, I would wear those glasses because I thought that they looked really cool. As soon as I got home, I would put them on the shelf and I'd put on a pair of glasses that have the anti-reflective coating. Why? Because it actually helps to minimize eye strain. It helps with any computer use because all of that artificial light getting to your eyes is just so much better maintained thanks to that anti-reflective coating. Also, night driving. Gadzooks, night driving is so much better with the anti-reflective coating, especially when you're looking at headlights. Those halos around lights, whether it be street lights or headlights, any of that artificial light, even glare bouncing off of the road is less intense. Thanks to that anti-reflective coating at nighttime, very, very important. Also, we can't forget the fact that it looks good. It is absolutely a better looking lens. In some cases, it can even make it look like you don't have any lenses because there's not so much glare bouncing off the lenses. So definitely looks better. But in my opinion, the real winner, the real key pro here is the optical clarity. That's super important. I mean, you're putting glasses on so you can see better. So why not do everything you can to be able to see as well as you can? Anti-reflective coating. Okay, I talked about the pros. Obviously, I'm an optician. I want to have everybody in an anti-reflective coating, but there have to be cons, right? Yeah, there are. Fair enough. There are some cons. There are some downsides. One main one is that there's more care. You do need to be a little more careful with them. You do need to avoid more abuse. They can't take quite as much abuse, certainly. They have come a long way, but that takes me into the next con, and it can be a little troublesome buying the right anti-reflective coating because they are not all created equal. There are much better anti-reflective coatings now. If you had experience with anti-reflective coatings 15, 20 years ago, and then a bad experience ruined you and you'll never go back to anti-reflective coating again, I would recommend you reconsider because they have gotten a lot better. In particular, they have gotten much more scratch resistant. They've gotten more hydrophobic. They've gotten more oleophobic. That's to say water resistant, dirt and dust resistant, and oil resistant. So they don't smudge as easily and can be much easier to clean. And so you do need to make sure that you're getting a good one for your money. And overall, it's still, even with that, will take a little more care and won't take as much of abuse as a non-coated lens, or at least a non-anti-reflective coated lens. But Overall, I think that you have more pros than you have cons, and I think that it is a really good and worthwhile coating. Okay, so why sunglasses versus eyeglasses? Why is there a difference? Well, when you're talking eyeglasses, you want to have an anti-reflective coating on the front and back side of the lens. That makes sense, right? You want to get as much light as you can to your eyes. You want to minimize the problem of having something between your eye and the thing you're looking at. That's kind of what glasses are. They kind of have they present that problem. Well, an anti-reflective coating helps to minimize that problem. When it comes to sunglasses, you're trying to minimize the amount of light making it to your eyes, or maybe you're trying to control the color a little more. Well, I'll say for proper sunglasses where you're trying to just block light transmission, it doesn't make sense to put it on the front side, but it does make sense to put it on the back side. And when you look at any top tier brand, Oakley, Maui Jim, Canon, when you're looking at any of these brands, in their non-prescription form, they all have a backside anti-reflective coating as a standard feature. If you buy prescription lenses from these places using their lab, they are going to have a backside anti-reflective coating. In some cases, you have the option to forego this. What you're missing out on then is having a coating on the backside of the lens that helps to minimize glare and reflections of light off the backside of the lens and into your eye. So if there's a light source behind you, that light will bounce off the backside of the lens a lot more readily and a lot brighter without an anti-reflective coating. So it's a really nice thing to have on your sunglasses. A little side note, kind of pro tip, if you're looking for a specialty lens color, like say a yellow, in that case, it does make sense actually to have it on the front and back side, because then it's more a matter of controlling color and light than it is blocking as much light as you can, like you would in a typical sunglass. But that's a little bit specialty use. A little reminder here, we have opticians at SportRx who would love to help you figure out what's right for you, and that includes all the details of the lens features, so definitely use us as a resource. And that wraps up what I think you need to know about why AR is important. I hope now you're a little more informed. I hope you feel a little more confident about the anti-reflective coating, and maybe you're more on my side now and you weren't in the beginning about why you should get it, because I do think it's a great coating. If you feel like I missed anything, if you still have questions, definitely leave them in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. We will get back to you. By the way, if you decide to order from SportRx, thanks to our See Better guarantee, you never have to worry about getting something that isn't right or just doesn't work for you. You can take as long as 45 days with them to figure that out. You just reach out to us. We take care of you no matter what that means on our end. And also we have opticians. I keep saying that because we do, and we have a lot of opticians who'd love to help you get it right the first time. So reach out to us. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this was interesting or informative. If so, throw us a like. You can find relevant videos here, and also we have great content on our social media outlets. I think you should check us out there too, because we have good stuff. We are at SportRx.